If you're just joining us, welcome to the Mindfulness Broadcast. I want to let you know in the chat, I am putting the calendar invite for 2023. So if you click on that, that should upload to your Outlook calendars and be in there. So it's just easy and stays in there for the next year because we love this space together. I love being here with you, and I love all the positive feedback I hear from all of you. I feel so blessed that this is something that we get to do through our jobs, and feel grateful for that. So I'm going to share this morning about urges. I think I shared this with you over the last couple times we've met this month, but January tends to be this time where people are thinking about new beginnings. And so I get to hear those stories a lot. What, people are choosing maybe a word for the new year, or really re-engaging in goals that they really wanted to get done maybe last year. And they're really going to get serious about it this year. And we're just kind of ingrained that this new year is new beginning, and we want to get intentional with what we're doing. And that is, that's a prefrontal cortex thought, right? I want to better my finances, my life, my health, my relationships, my job, whatever it is. And then willpower. We only have a finite amount of willpower. We can only rely on willpower for so long, to get us through for so long. And then our old habits start to return and come knocking on the door for us. And whether that is, eating, drinking, the way that we're speaking to ourselves, a practice, a yoga practice, a breathing practice, a Spanish practice, language practice, our old habits start to come back in. And so mindfulness is such a powerful tool to get us through those habit moments. And that is really what we call the urge, that urge to just simply go back to comfort, to go back to ease, to go back to doing things without having to think through every step. Brain doesn't like that process. It likes habit and efficiency. And so change really challenges us in that way. And the brain doesn't really support us necessarily as we begin to move through change. So even if it means that thriving is on the other side of that, the brain goes, yeah, but right now, that's hard. And what I want is to do what I've done. That is just how we are wired. And so we want to bring mindfulness into those moments of urge. So not distract, not deny that they're, I'm fine, I don't want it. But instead, lean in, come in. And that's really what mindfulness is. So I'm going to share my screen, hoping it's a visual that works on your end. And if you ever want a copy of this, just let me know. Some of you have seen this in years past. I've shared this in certain trainings. It's just a Word document, so it's going to underline things it doesn't like. But this is a graph I drew a long time ago, trying to think about this idea of surfing urges and being present with and being mindful with urges. And so the way that we're looking at this is on this y-axis, what we're seeing is kind of discomfort, right? So in that moment where, I really want to whatever, I want to get on the couch, I want to have a glass of wine, I want to eat that whatever, I want to speak the way I used to speak. There's discomfort, there's this tension being held. And then this is time, essentially. And you can, it might be hours, might be minutes, you can kind of fill this in. We're each individual in this way. And so let's say 0 being like, oh, I'm fine, there's no discomfort, I'm cruising along. And then I get an urge. So there's some discomfort. We move up to about I'm going to say a 6. So I'm going to use an example. I often do a dry January just to kind of challenge myself and cleanse and do all those things I love and hate and do anyway. Um, near the end of the month, I'm like, oh, I've already, not had gluten for 3 weeks, or I've already lowered my sugar, or I haven't been drinking at all this whole month, and I've only got a few days left, and then start to get that urge again to get away from my goal. And so there's some discomfort that starts to come. There's tension that's held. And I have a choice. So I'm hanging out with this discomfort for a little while. And then there becomes this moment of choice where I either go mindless or mindful. Mindful is I lean in, I name it. This is an urge. This is just an urge. This is a thought. This is a desire. This is a habit. This is my brain wanting to just do what it's used to doing. Or mindless means I can go, my thought is saying, I've done a great job. It's already January 27th. I've done fine. What's it matter if I make it all the way to the 31st? I've done a really great job. So I'm going to do the thing that brings me comfort. So let's just follow this buffering or mindlessness. Let's follow this graph. So I'm in this moment of tension. Maybe I'm not even aware that an urge is happening, but probably I'm aware that there's something going on. And then I pour the glass of wine, have a beer, sit on the couch, forego the workout, whatever it is. My discomfort is going to go down immediately, right? I'm out of it. I'm out of the tension. I'm eating my burger. I'm, engaged in maybe an emotional reaction that feels good in the moment that I'm doing it. And then my discomfort is actually going to go back up, because now I will remember, oh, right, I set this goal, right? I didn't move towards my goal. I didn't achieve it. And I talked myself out of it. And so I didn't keep my word to myself. So my discomfort actually increases. You'll see it's higher than where it was when I was actually experiencing the urge. When we stay with it, when we lean in, when we allow the urge to be there and we just ride it, we surf it, we're with it, their discomfort goes up right away. Right? So, I'm going to talk, where do I feel this in my body, and what's present for me, and what are my thoughts telling me right now, and what's happening for me, and I'm with it, and my discomfort actually increases, but then it comes down because the urge is temporary. And I remind myself, I have a goal, I have support. I'm going to reach the 31st. I said I was going to do it. I'm going to do it. And at the end, I'm there having kept my word to myself. So the difference in this, and what I love about this example, is we're not ever out of discomfort. Neither one of those choices take us out of discomfort. It's just one delays it and then probably will increase it at the end, and leaving me having been mindless and not having kept my word to myself. And one, I have the discomfort and it eases, and I've kept my word to myself. So the pattern, while it's inverse, we experience the same thing. It's just one is taking us towards our goal and one is not. So just being present with our urges, that's going to be our focus for this practice. So go ahead and close your eyes. You can also keep your eyes open and just slightly close your lids halfway, allowing your gaze to shift downward, where you're not really focusing or looking around the room. And just drop into what we just spent time talking about. How did that land for you? Does it speak to you? How do you interact and engage with urges? They are normal. They are part of being human. They are not an indication of weakness. They are a normal and natural part of change and evolution. Consider how that lands with you. When you have an urge, what does that mean about you? What is your relationship with an urge? If you can relate this to a specific experience you're having, perhaps you are one of the many of us who use this time of year to realign, to get intentional. And maybe you just have something that you're already working on. What are your urges as they relate to your goals? Can you name it? Them. When those urges come, because they will and they do, can you remind yourself that this is normal and that it's just an urge? It's just a thought. It's just water flowing over the waterfall, and we don't have to attach to it. It's a wave coming in, and we can just ride it, watch it as it rolls towards shore. That it is a temporary state of being. As we talk about urges and being with them and being mindful, just do a little body scan here and notice, where is the energy being held in your body, if it is? Notice what your breath is doing, if it's gotten deeper or shallower, slower or faster, or remain the same. This is all part of just being with it, leaning in, naming it, expanding it, exploring it. And as we close, just notice any final tidbits or nuggets or thoughts or feelings that you want to take with you as we leave this shared space together. And when you're ready, open your eyes, bring your gaze up. Thank you. Be well, everyone. If you joined us a little late, in the chat is a link to Put the mindfulness broadcast in your calendar for all of 2023. Make sure you grab that. Be well. Bye.